Hi friends, I have another craft for you today. Today we get to make a pumpkin. You know how much I love pumpkins. And this one is super cute. It could be a nice centerpiece at your house, and it's economical. It's not expensive to make, just some fun stuff to put together. And I'll show you how that works. So, it's made out of paper plates. I'm figuring you can see that. So these are decorative paper plates for the fall season. And then this is a paper towel holder, empty. This is a paper towel roll. We've used some Spanish moss, or I've used some Spanish moss, and then I've made a bow. And the bow I have made is out of 2 different ribbons in raffia, and that's it. And you can do it any way you want to. That's how we did it, and that's how we're going to do it today. So we need 12 decorative plates, and we're going to make this. So this is the 8.5 or 9-inch plates. They're the bigger plates. They're the dinner plates, and they're round, not oblong. And you can make some. You can have some that has decorations all over it. It doesn't matter. The one that I have is from Dollar Tree, so it's all paper. It's got a little bit of gloss on top, which actually makes it really easy to manipulate. And it's really easy to glue. I did get some other ones that were a little thicker, a little more expensive. They have leaves all over them. It's doable. It works for sure, but it takes a little more patience with your hot glue. But it works, and it looks gorgeous. So I have folded a bunch of these like this. Remember, we need 12. So I'm using the word fold, but you don't want to fold, and I'll show you how to do it. You don't want it all smished. So I will show you how to do that. But I did a bunch of these ahead of time, so we wouldn't be wasting your time on the video, during the video. I'm gonna scooch them up closer to me. Okay, so I can reach them, but I am gonna show you how this works. So my plate, I'm gonna do a couple. My plate, I can't believe I had this out when I first started the video. I would never do that. Anyway, my plate has a double design, one on this side and one on this side. I need to fold them similar because I want them to look similar on here. So I folded it, I've bent it. I'm not gonna fold it. I bent it so that part of the design is on this side and part's on this side. So first things first, bend it inside out. Now it's bent inside out. Then figure out how you want your design. If you have the leaves and stuff all over, it really won't make any difference. You can't tell. But I need to have this on one side and this on the other. So this is where I'm going to start gluing. I'm just picking one side. And I'm going to put a little dab of glue right there, and then fold this in half. Not creasing, just bending it over in half to where my tops meet. And I'm going to hold it so it'll seal and glue. But see how I have not folded it, I've not creased this part. That's the whole main thing. Don't crease this whole thing. You want to give it some body, some depth. So don't do that. I am going to bend it to where I can seal it all the way to each end. So before I put some glue in here. And you might want to start by just adding a little bit of glue. We're going to seal this all the way down. All the way down. So I've done a lot of these, so I can just seal straight down and put a bead of glue all the way down and then seal my ends. Or you can start from the top and do just a part of it. Go halfway down and seal that, and halfway down. I recommend you start that way, just so it doesn't glue too fast for you. You know, this glue gun's awesome, and the glue stick's awesome, but it dries fast. That's the whole beauty of it. that your glue dries fast. I'm not waiting on E6000 or Elmer's glue or whatever to do this, and I'm sitting here for hours, right? That's the beauty of hot glue, but it's got some flaws too. One, it dries so fast, sometimes you can't get your work done before it dries on you. So I would just recommend go halfway and halfway, but for video's sake, I'm just gonna go all the way down. And here's another clue, because my sister did one of these with the decorative plates. Her pumpkin looked awesome, but it was harder to work with this part and to get it to glue because it's got all that shiny on it. This is decorative. It doesn't have a lot of shiny, doesn't have as much, at least, that's for sure. So it's easier to work with. So take your pick, but if you do those real pretty ones, definitely just glue part way down and part way down. So, ta-da, we got another one, right? So I'm keeping them all facing the same way, but you can reverse them on your plate here. It doesn't matter if they're all in the same order. It doesn't matter. It's whatever you want to do. Are these all in the same order? Nope. These aren't exactly. There's one or two of them that are flipped, but you can't tell because you're looking at it as a whole. Let's do one more. All right, what do we do first? Flip it inside out. Then I find my decoration because I want the decoration on both sides of my, whatever shape this is, whatever that is, half a plate shape. So I'm finding the decoration, I'm going to the center, I'm putting a bead of glue, and then I'm bringing my two ends together and holding them. It's a little warm through the plate. I don't think it'll burn you. It doesn't burn me. But you have these little rubber tippies. Keep those close. You've seen me burn my fingers more than once. So before I glue the ends, I'm going to make sure my tips meet. Then I'm going to put my bead of glue all the way down. Meet my ends and just hold it. So I put my bead of glue close to the edge, but not too close that when I hold this together, it's going to squirt out. So I want my edges of the plate to meet, but look, I squirted out just a smidge on this tip. That's okay, we won't see it. Make sure it's nice and secure. If you've got some ends popping up, just put some more glue in there. Easy peasy. Hey, you know another thing that the hot glue will do, a friend of mine didn't realize this, but have you noticed, okay, wait a minute. Put another bead of glue down, meet my ends and hold it together. Have you noticed that if it gets hot, it's going to melt again? My friend didn't think that it would remelt, but it absolutely does, because that's the whole premise of hot glue. So if you're transporting this, or anything you do with hot glue, if you're transporting it to somewhere, make sure that your car's not too hot, or it's not in direct sun. If you're storing it for like next year, you don't want it in too hot of a place. And one of the very first crafts, if not the first craft that I made for myself at home just to decorate, trying to make some decorations, was this really neat thing on the front of my door. I loved it. It was a winter craft. And it looked awesome, but it kept falling apart and falling down. And my door was solid red, and I had a glass screen door, so the whole thing was glass. And so the sun came right up that way, and whoosh, it kept heating up my door. And it took me a minute to figure out what in the world, but that was not a good decoration for my front door, because it heated up and kept falling off. So just things to think about. All right, so I should have 12, but I have extra plates because I've done that before too and miscounted. Now I have this. So if you notice, you get your plate, you want to put it so that it fits straight on here and will eventually stand up. As we do it, it's getting top heavy and tipping, so at first it won't. But I don't know if you can see it, but there's gaps. This middle part doesn't even touch. It doesn't even touch. So we are gonna put glue here and glue here. So I put it on the edge here, put it on the edge here. Pick up my paper towel roll and stick it on. And we want to make sure that it's flush so it's going to stand. We can fix it. We can fix almost anything when you're crafting. But anyway, I'm gluing it and I'm sticking it here and I'm holding it so it'll dry. So you get to hear me talk. But it's all paper, so if we're a little unbalanced, don't worry about it. We'll trim it. Oops, not quite adhered. All right, then I'm gonna lay it down because it's not gonna hold itself. And I'll pick up my other one. Now, I've got them all facing the direction I want them to go on to make my pumpkin. So that is a handy little tip if you want to prepare them facing the way you want them to go. Now, I'm just putting this next one right beside the first one. So I am putting my edges together close. And the little body, the little fatter part of your pumpkin meets up a little bit, but it makes these pretty gaps. So we'll hold that a minute, and I'm gonna lay it down. And I'm laying it down on the, my first one I glued, because, you know, theoretically that one's the most stable, right? Notice I'm just putting glue on these two ends, picking this bad boy up, meeting it over here, putting it flat on my table. I've got a little covering, that's what I can't believe I had out instead of hiding under my cute little red piece of fabric. But you know, it's possible that you will get a little extra glue spillage at the bottom and glue to your table or your work surface. So put something there, but this won't be a problem. This is plastic. This is a little plastic cutting board, actually, from Dollar Tree. Not that I'm advertising for Dollar Tree. I'm just saying that's where I got it if you want one. And 2 for $1.50. And so the plastic is not that big a deal if you get hot glue on it because it'll just peel back off. But if you put like paper down to cover your workspace and you don't get it off of your extra glue spillage quick enough, it's going to be stuck to your work. So you might not want to do that. Something, but you also don't want it on your table itself. So just think ahead. All right. So we're getting there, aren't we? Putting it on there. How many do we have on here? This is 5. Now this one used 12. My sister made one. She used 12. So I'm guessing 12. I've seen some other people cram in 16 or 18. I was prepared for that, but that's not what worked for me. So 12 works for me. So you might want to have a few more. Actually, you can't get a package of just 12, or I never saw any. They're at least 14. Uh-oh, just saw something fall over there. Alright, started glue here. Alright, you sit up there. Let me put this one on. Maybe it'll help scotch it in. I went too fast. Gotta hold both of them. Anyway, back to the number of plates. If you get a package and it's got at least 12, you should be good. On there? Yep. This one on there? Yep. All right. Now, I'll add some more on here. This is how I do it once I get a bunch on there. I hold it with my other arm. But laying down works too. You've seen it from the beginning. So I'm putting them up close to each other. See, I'm stuck. It'll come right off the plastic. If that was paper, it might be a problem. Okay. We got 5 more, it looks like. Let's see if this is gonna work. I love pumpkins. Whoops, fall decorations are one of my favorite decorations to make. You should see my house, it's crazy. I put pumpkins and gnomes and leaves and stuff out all over the place. And I have a couple kids, but they're grown, almost out of the house. They like the decorations, so that's nice. But I know I'll probably get to a point not where I won't decorate. It's something that I really enjoy, so. And I like to craft my decorations just because it's fun. All right, we're almost there. Looks like I've got 3 more after this one. So there are some paper towel rolls that are, I don't know if they're paper towel rolls. Oh, I know, I bet they're for a fabric or a wrapping paper that are thinner and denser. Those are cool too to use. All right, we're getting close. Fall off, glue. I need you. Okay. Aren't we looking good? We're looking good. The table's helping me, I hope, making this thing flat so it stands up. So I have 2 more. We'll see if that's enough. Maybe I put them so close I need an extra one. I have extras. It'll be okay. Okay. Let's try this one. Put you in there. These are really cute plates. I was waiting for them to come out. Because I wanted to work on this early, but. All right, 1 more. I think this might work space-wise. think this is gonna work. This is my third one. Well, it's my second one, and then I was helping my sister with one. So the third one made where I was present. And all 3 of them used 12 plates. So that's what's working for me. And I accidentally got some little ones, little plates, dessert plates. I was thinking I had like just the dinner plates, but I had dessert plates. And they are too big for a toilet paper roll. They overcome it, and then I won't have, unless you could do it with the toilet paper roll, but you'd have to add in something for your stem. You don't have a built-in stem. You'd have to build in something in there. But also I was thinking, I haven't had time to make it yet, so I can't show it to you. Look, let's see if it stands. And it stands. So if you do it that way, theoretically it should work great. That's 2 for 2 of that I've made that actually works that way. So give that a go. Anyway, real quick, back to the little plates. I'm going to make one. I was hoping to make one before I got on here so I could show it to you, but I didn't get it done. I'm going to use the the paper towel roll, but I'm going to slit it in half. I'm going to cut it in half and coil it together a little smaller because I think the stem will be way too big for the little plates. So just a thought, if you want to give that a go. Go ahead and use one of these because you'll need the height. Not all of it. You're going to cut off part of it, I think. Pretty sure it's going to come down to here. And then, so you'll need some of the height off, but you don't need the thickness, the width of the circle, the diameter of the circle. So you might want to cut it in half and scooch it in a little bit and tape it or glue it, and then go that way. Give that a try, see what it does. All right now, so we need to do the top. We can do all kinds of things for the top. We can, but you know I like jute. My sister used burlap, and she put that on the top, and it looks great. So you could put a dark burlap on there. You could paint it. You don't even have to change it. You can just use paint to put on there. Ribbon, I'm using ribbon for my ribbon, but if you have a ribbon that you'd like to use, I am just tacking on some jute at the bottom, and I'm running it around. Okay. Because I really like the look of jute. I'm going to make these two similar. I'm going to try to use the same ribbon and all that good stuff. So I am just going around and around, and I'm going to add in just a touch of glue here and there to make sure that it sticks. Uh-oh, stuck on me. I had this really thick jute, ran out of it. I don't know if it was 4-ply, definitely 3-ply. That would have been great for this part right here. But they make all kinds of rope and stuff to go around. This doesn't take long, and it looks cute. Trying to be careful because though my hot glue is dry, not all of it probably is completely dry. My last ones. Did you hear my little puppers? My little doggy. I lost my senior dog several months ago. And then my younger dog was a little lonely, so we got him a buddy. So this is the first time I've been doing my videos with him. He likes to be close. He's 4. Things are still a little new for me here. So you might see him run around in the background. I'm not sure. Getting some glue string here. Not to mention jute dust. It's all worth it. Keep going, keep going. Let it go. We're almost at the top. Glue gun flake a little bit. Let's get some of that goop off. I think this jute is just like 2-ply. So it's taking me a minute. But again, keep going, it's worth it, it's worth it. Then I'll show you how I did my bow. You know there's lots of ways to do bows. I'm not a huge bow, as in extra large bow kind of person generally. I try to make it fit the size. This one I think fits pretty good without going crazy, but we'll see. All right, I'm almost there, friends. Almost there. Felt. Felt would be a good thing to cover this up with if you have that at home. All right, we're almost there. Shoot, let's get this. Let's see, am I at the top? I am. Thought I was, but I wasn't positive. Tack my little end down. Oops, too much glue. Help me out, scissors. Got a little anxious there. Overzealous, I should say. There we go. Look at this. I'm using the scissors and I have these silicone tips right over there. I forgot all about. Okay. Ta-da. So far, so good. Now, fix my scissors. Next step is some moss. The moss sits on top and helps cover up some of the gaps. And just looks awesome. So, I got me some moss. I like Spanish moss. I like the green of that. They make that brown moss, which could be Spanish moss. I don't know. I can't remember. But it's also a little messy. I don't know what that is. Oh, a leaf. Okay. So, I get the moss first and stretch it around and see how I like how it looks. I don't use like a ton, but I like that. And then put just a little piece on the front, I think, or this little space. So, I like the way that looks. I'm gonna put some glue on the jute part of my stem, and then I'm gonna place my moss back on here. You don't want it to fall off, and it disguises the top of where my plates meet, and the bottom is already on your table or whatever. So get some more moss for this extra space. I love it. Okay. Need some more glue for this gap. And place that on, hold it for a second. That cute? All right, last step. Let's make a bow. So, I am using wired jute. Whoops, not jute. Burlap. So I'll figure out how long I want it. And cut 2 strips of that. Might be too long, but we'll see. So I'm going to cut 2 strips of this. I'm going to cut a string of jute to go under this bow. Oops. Drop that. Alright, so my my jute goes down first. Then I will crisscross my wired burlap ribbon. And then I have cute holiday or fall gnome ribbon. So they're 2 different sizes. The base ribbon is longer and thicker. So I'm cutting 2 of these. Oops. To go layer on top. And so this ribbon is got a design on it. Gnomes. So I need to make sure that they're facing correctly, not upside down. And then I'm gonna get some raffia. That's what I dropped. I knew I dropped something over there. I dropped my bag of raffia. Then I put the raffia, layer it on here. Hold up. Here it is. All right. Let me get some more raffia on here. I'm gonna actually make that longer. Then I can cut off where I want to cut off. So let me get some raffia here. I don't know how much, I'm just grabbing some. I'll make some strings. I'm gonna put that on my bow. So I'm gonna put that in the middle, squeeze my bow together, and tie it together with this jute. So I'm wrapping it around twice. So it doesn't come untied. Flipping it to the back and tying a knot. And we'll see what we got. I don't need anything to tie this with because it's going to be glued on the front. So I just snipped off my extra pieces. And this is what my bow looks like. So I'm pulling that down and we'll figure out where it needs to go on our pumpkin. Where's my front? I think it's gonna go right here. So I am putting it at the base. Let's see what that looks like. I think it looks good. All right, let me put some glue on the bow itself. And put it at the base of my stem and hold it there a second. All my gnomes are facing the right way. I got lots of raffia. Trim this down a little bit. And ta-da! That's our pumpkin. Now we have two. Not too hard. You can do it yourself. I know you can. Thanks so much for joining me, crafting with me, and I'll see you next time.